All right, hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming out. My name is Bobby Whittenberg, but that isn't really the most important thing right now. I'm all too common today. I'm a veteran of the war in Iraq, and for me it's really easy to see the connection between healthcare and warfare. Essentially, we live in a society where there is both a robber class and an exploited class. The robber class gets to make the rules and policy under which the exploited class lives. And so when they make decisions to go to war, that's essentially a form of class warfare, because generally the only people who fight and die and suffer are the exploited class. And as Peter Kropotkin said, America is just the country that shows how all the written guarantees in the world for freedom are no protection against tyranny and oppression of the worst kind. The ability to deny healthcare is a powerfully dangerous, effective weapon of class warfare. The ruling class kills people in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Palestine with bombs and depleted uranium and sanctions. The ruling class kills people from bullets from police officers' revolvers in East Austin. And they kill people through state murder in the form of the death penalty. And then there are those who are simply given the death penalty for being poor and not able to afford health care, and they die on our streets. Right-wing reactionaries at teabagging parties with guns would have you believe that we can't afford to give health care to everyone. They show up armed and violent, willing to use violence against people to deprive them of having health care. But it seems that, they say we can't afford health care, but it seems that we can afford to send bombs and tanks and troops all over the world. How is it that we can afford to kill people, but we can't afford to heal people? How do you convince a people that that is right? The way we're able to do that is because through capitalism and the commodification of everything in our lives up to the most basic human rights, we're able to make a disconnect between our lifestyle and those who suffer as a result of it. We only see the Coca-Cola. We don't see the union leader who is assassinated to keep wages low so that we get that for $1. We only see the nice new pair of shoes. We don't see the women and children who worked in the sweatshops to build those shoes. We see gasoline being pumped into our cars, but we don't see the blood flowing through the streets of the Middle East to put it there. We see the hamburger, but we don't see the cow who lives her life with infected wounds and pus running down her face until she's slaughtered so that we can eat. As an anarchist, I believe that healthcare is a human right that should be for everyone. I don't trust the government and I don't trust the corporations, but here's the kicker. The government can offer health care to every person free of charge, and the corporations are unwilling to do so. So by default, we have to demand that the government meet our needs. Government is essentially, if they're here to support us, then they need to be doing what we say. You can argue this and that about merits of corporate healthcare or government healthcare, but if you're not talking about a system that provides healthcare to every single person, you're not talking about equality, you're not talking about justice, you're not talking about compassion, you're damn sure not talking about love, and you're not even talking about common human decency. When we can, as a society, we have to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, just who the hell are we? Who are we that we can kill people all over the world and here in our own streets so that corporations can profit, so that people in power can extend that power? Everything's for sale. Our hopes, our dreams, love, sex, human rights. Obama has said that he wants to find a solution that does not harm the healthcare industry. How compassionate. I want to find a solution that doesn't harm anyone. I want a system where preventable disease or pre-existing condition doesn't disqualify you from your human right to health care. This is always the case. Rights are taken, they're never given. Representative government and capitalism have failed. If they're supposed to be representing our voice and our interests, then who are they to tell us that universal health care is off the table? Because that's our goddamn table. They can't tell us what's on the table, and what we want on our table is human rights for all people. Not because we're lazy or selfish or leeches on society, but because we are human beings and because healthcare is a human right. People are not expendable. Government is. There is a better world possible, and she is waiting out there for us just beyond our fears. Fight for your class, not for your country. All power to the people.